Hey everyone. So here's an attempt to walk through the Lego sort of brick generator setup that I've worked on for a while. It's not still 100% where I want it to be, but it's already taken too much of my time, so I'll be leaving it on the web as it is. So what it basically does, it takes in input mesh, so say something like this, and tries to fill the shape with uh, some predefined sets of Lego bricks. So here's the result. So what it tries to do is solve the whole mesh in a few steps. First, it tries to lay bricks and make sure that no single brick or a chunk of brick is falling off. So if it was done in real life and you would pick up the shape, the whole thing be one solid piece and no bricks or chunk of bricks will fall off from the shape, if that's clear. So that's the structural integrity it tries to maintain. So let's go go node by node. So it's mostly handled by Vex. So there's not many nodes in here. The model comes in. We try to do a VDB. So it's everything is uniform and non-manifold. Then we do a peak just to make sure there are not any super thin pieces. It generally helps with the generation. Points come from here. So we just take a bound and add some padding on the bounds. And what we do is scatter some points using points from volume. And this point separation is the main distance from each point. And we work based on a grid. This value 0.008 comes from some research I did online on the sizes of Lego bricks, and I found out they're like 8 millimeters uh, in y-axis. So I use that. This can be changed, and the whole setup will change the brick sizes. So each brick is roughly this height. Then what we do is remove everything that is not our input mesh. Then do some normal setting. I'm not sure if this is needed anymore. Some sorting of the points. This is a node that is just nothing but a attribute delete and a group delete combined. So it's handy. This is here the main brain, the logic of the setup. So this is me while editing. The code has been massively helped by AI. I have used Claude, Gemini, and all sorts of AIs that I could found. I guided it and reviewed the code, but the brick finding logic was done with AI. So what it does, it goes from bottom left, and it tries to place a brick and the place at the largest brick first, sort of goes in a greedy method. If it if it can't find it, then it goes down and tries to place smaller bricks. It also does staggering. So each layer is offset by a value. So there is not an exact, for example, say 4 by 2 brick on a 4 by 2 brick, and then another 4 by 2 on top. So that whole chunk will fall off. So it just moves the each layer, tries to move each layer a bit, so the bricks interlock very well. So this also gives out a ID attribute for each point. So there's a brick ID and there's a brick type. So we can see there's 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 2 by 4, and so on. So if we see the bricks by their randomized by their brick ID, this is hard to make sense of, so I copied some boxes on top. So you can see these are the individual bricks that it solved. Now there is still a chance that some points will fall off, like are not structurally held. So this setup here is trying to detect that. So if we see, so some points here, right here, these points it found are like completely hanging from the whole shape. So no bricks here goes in and holds on to another brick. So if it was real life, this brick chunk will just fall off. So this part, this code detects that and we remove that and the whole thing is one solid piece. At least I hope so. So then we have our brick ID and brick type. It's time to place the real Lego bricks. So what we did was separating the one by one bricks here and spawned some like these tube shaped bricks, and the other bricks, like these are all the bricks, at least these are all the types that are currently in the generator. So also we have three types of like quality. So you can see like very low, sorry, then a mid and a high. So if it's a large, if there is a lot of bricks, the high obviously, like at least it crashes on my end. So there needs to be some kind of optimization done. Uh, I have mainly been working with the low, and sometimes the medium works. So just the loop here decodes the brick ID and copy using copy to point. We copy the proper points on it. Also, the code uh, outputs another attribute called brick direction. So if a brick looks like this, it gives a vector attribute along the length. So if we convert it to normal, then copy to points can't use it to properly orient the piece. We use a compile block to make sure everything's faster, multi-threaded. So these are the bricks. Now there are some and then here are all the bricks with the one by one bricks, the tube bricks. Now I have tried to fill these shapes with flat bricks. So that's another setup in here. So if I see the output here, we can see the pieces that are bare on top. They get filled with these flat bricks. The same calculation, same code that does the calculation of the Lego bricks is used here. So this and this is the same code. And then there are some logic to place the angular bricks here. So everything combines together, looks like this. There were some plans to add more decorations and variations to the pieces, but as I said, already spent too much time on this. Like I wanted there to be some bricks that have holes in them, as I saw in some other Houdini brick generators that some other people did. So yeah, that's up to you if you want to take the file and modify it to your heart's content. So yeah. Another thing, if we want to check the high quality bricks, we can just clip some of the pieces and take a small chunk. That will be faster to generate. So if we see medium detail, you can see there are some details, but if we go high, then we will see like proper beveled pieces, and if we see an exploded view, we can see these are like proper high resolution bricks. On the full model, my PC crashes, so I've never tried that. So here's another setup that does not use the pre-baked bricks. Like these are baked already. Also, these are baked using this brick brick generator HTA. I'll also be providing that. So it does some variations of bricks, like I can change how many rows and columns I want. Also, I can output the flat tiles that are on top, and it also can do some pre-made bricks. So yeah, this is used like to generate all these pieces here, and this real-time one, instead of using pre-baked bricks, it just hooks to the generator and works accordingly. So for example, if you have in your code above like a 5 by 1, it will work with that. But we don't have any 5 by 1 pre-baked here, so it won't work. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching.